Hello everybody, it's Kate the West Coast Paper Crafter. It is Monday, December 30th. We are so close to 2025, I can't believe it. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in East Souk on Vancouver Island in Canada, and you are joining me in my craft space, which also happens to be my spare room. And tonight I am going to show you a really fun technique using a dry embossing folder and an ink pad, and we are going to make this project. So this is the Friendly Seagulls stamp set that's coming January 7th, and you can actually get the stamp set for free during celebration. So yeah, it's really cute. It's so cute. I think a lot of people are going to end up with this stamp set. So let me show you how to make this card. The technique we're going to do is really easy. I don't do it very often because it is messy, but that's okay. We're going to do it tonight. I'm going to flip the camera around and we will get started. All right, so I'm just going to adjust. Oops, I adjusted too much. Hang on. Let me see. That might do. All right, now tonight we will be using an embossing folder. I have got the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. I'm going to raise up my camera just a bit so you can see more of my workspace. And of course the Friendly Seagull stamps. And I've also used for this project Perennial Postage dies. So this is a very handy little die set if you don't have it. Let me just show you. Look at all the dies you get with this. All sorts of different shapes in that kind of a postage stamp look. So they're pretty handy. Pretty handy. All right, I'm just bringing up my Facebook so I can make sure that my hands are in view. And we will get started. Hello, Jackie. Hello, Karen. Thanks for tuning in. Karen, I have your color wheel. It is in my car. I just haven't seen you. I'm so sorry. I will get it to you. Okay, so all the pieces. I have a Coastal Cabana card base, and that's 5.5 by 8.5. I have scored it at 4 1/4 on the 8.5 inch side. And then I have got a piece of Coastal Cabana that's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. That's going to go on the front of the card. I have got basic white for the inside. This is optional, but I like to have an inside layer, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. And my Perennial Postage dies. I have 3 of them. And if you don't have the Perennial Postage dies, then you can just cut your pieces to 1.5 by 2 3/8. 1.5 by 2 3/8, and 3 of them. What else? I have a very tiny little piece of basic white that's 1.5 by 1 3/4, and that's for my sentiment. I'm going to stick that post-it note on it, otherwise I'm going to lose this piece. I just know it. It's so little. Gina, hello. Connie, hi. Judy, glad you're joining. And then in this envelope, I have got all the letters cut out to spell snacks. And I used the Alphabet a la Mode die set, and I also used adhesive sheets on the back. So I've made all these letters into stickers just to make it easy to stick it down on the card. So if you know me, snacks are my thing. I love snacks. Well, who doesn't love snacks, right? But I love snacks. Okay, so I'm going to put those letters back in the envelope so I don't lose them. And we are going to start with the technique. So I'm going to grab my embossing folder. And oh, hello, Gail. Pam, you found it. I'm so glad you tuned in. Hello, Lisa. All right, so I've got my folder. I am going to use Coastal Cabana ink, so I'm using the same color of ink as my cardstock. And all I'm going to do is open up this ink pad, and you can play around if you like the top or the inside. It doesn't really matter. It's totally personal preference. I think the sample one I had done yesterday, I inked up this side of the embossing folder that has the Stampin' Up! Logo on it. And for this demonstration, I'm just going to do the back side just to see what the difference is. So all I'm going to do is tap my ink pad on my embossing folder. I warned you guys, it's going to be messy. This is why I don't do this technique very often, because now I have to clean off my embossing folder, which isn't really a big deal, but it's messy. Okay, so now that I've got the ink on the embossing folder, I'm going to take this piece of Coastal Cabana that's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and I'm just going to stick it down, fold my folder over top, and I'm going to run it through my machine. My machine's at the corner of my desk, and I'm going to run it over there. Otherwise, I'm going to shake the camera, and it looks like there's an earthquake happening. So I'm just going to run this through my embossing folder. You just won't see what I'm doing, but I think you know what I'm doing. Hello, Kathy, all the way from Texas. Nicola from Melbourne. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so I'm running this through. And now, let's see what it looks like. All right, so there you have it. It just adds a little bit of texture and dimension. So I inked up the back side of my embossing folder. On this one that I had done yesterday, I inked up the opposite side, the one that's got the Stampin' Up! Logo right on it. And you can see that it added a lot more color to that embossed piece. So play around with it and see which side you like the best. I think I like the back side. I like that more subtle look. So that's it. That's the technique. So easy. Now we're going to build this card. So this piece that we've just inked up and embossed. Hey Susan, thanks for tuning in. I'm just going to glue that down to the front of the card with my very trusty multi-purpose liquid glue. Now yesterday when I made my sample card, I popped up this layer with dimensionals, and you can definitely do that, but I thought I'd keep this one a little bit flatter so I can just send it in regular mail. Sometimes when I use a lot of dimensionals on my card, it's not a regular postage stamp. It's a little bit too thick, and then I need to pay a little bit extra, which isn't a big deal. But I did send out 20 cards on the weekend, and some of them I paid extra postage on, so I'm going to be more mindful in the future. All right, so that I'm going to put aside. I've got my 3 Perennial postage dies. I'm just going to get some scrap paper because I'm going to do a little bit of stamping on these. And I'm starting out with some crumb cake. So in this stamp set, there's a little stamp that looks like pebbles. I'm going to use that one. I have a whole bunch of stamps ready to go actually for this card. And I'm just going to put some pebbles on the bottom of these dies so my seagulls are not floating. They have some ground to be standing on. All right, now I'll put that somewhere else. Close up my ink pad because we all know what happens when I don't. And then I've got tuxedo black, and we will stamp the seagulls. So there's 3 different seagulls in this stamp set. They're so cute. And I'm going to use each one. This might be, I think it might be my favorite stamp set that's coming out in celebration. I wish I could show you guys everything, but I'm not technically allowed to open up the pages of the brochure until the launch date of January 7th. So some of you may have got a paper copy from me already and you know what's happening, you know what's inside. So in the meantime, I've been sharing some of the projects from that celebration brochure so you know what's coming. And this one happens to be the card design I'm doing tonight. I did case this from the celebration brochure. There's a card in there that's very similar to this, and that is where I got the idea from. So same, but different. Oh, hello, Carolyn. You're playing this one today? Yeah, I know. It's so cute. All right, plus we get to do a little bit of coloring as well. Hang on a minute. There's one more thing. One more thing. I think I'm going to add some French fries. I think French fries are important. So I'm just going to squeeze in some fries. And the side of these little Perennial Postage die cuts. I lost my train of thought for a second. Wow. You know, it's just a weird week in between Christmas and New Year's Eve where you don't even really know what day it is. Hello, Tina. I'm glad you like the seagulls. They are troublemakers, definitely. All right, so the colors I have chosen for the French fries, I'm going to use a light Daffodil Delight on the bullet tip because they're skinny. And I'm going to color in this little image, which kind of looks, I can't tell for sure, but it almost looks like a little burger with a fish inside. I don't know. Maybe that's my failing eyesight, but if anybody else or anyone else watching right now who has this stamp set, the French fry container, are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing? Are you seeing a little tiny burger with a fish? Which I guess is fitting for seagulls, right? All right, I don't need the yellow anymore. Now for the beak and the little seagull feet, I'm going to use dark peach pie. Hey, Nikki. Yes, it is appropriate for me because, you know, I think you know how I feel about snacks. I do love snacks. I still remember going to your house for Epicure and you had some killer snacks. Carolyn, you were there too. I love snacks. All right, so I'm doing their feet and their beaks in peach pie. I just realized I was bending over. I hope you guys didn't get a view of my frizzy hair. Sometimes I forget and I bend over and I get in the way of the camera. And then you all see what my frizzy hair really looks like living on the West Coast. All right, now for the French fry containers, I am going to use Summer Splash to color in around the fish burger. Oh, Janice, I will have to check that out. Comedian Michael McIntyre does a funny bit about not knowing what day that is. On YouTube, Janice? I'll look for it. I will look for it. All right, so while we are in this weird space in between Christmas and New Year's, I have discovered, so I get a little bit of vertigo. It's kind of a new thing that came along with perimenopause, menopause. And last year it was pretty bad actually. I didn't realize what was happening and there was lots of tests but no definitive results. Anyways, it turns out it's related to menopause. That's just so much fun. But anyway, it got better and then it went away and now it's back. Not terrible. It's just back and I realize that my vertigo is very much tied in to stress and eating poorly and not getting enough sleep. So I am working on not eating as much chocolate, but I'm not giving it up completely because we still have Christmas chocolates in the house, and friends, I can't say no. I can't say no, especially when we get the good ones from Purdy's. I just love them. So junk food, not enough sleep, and a little bit of stress, and that is the recipe for my vertigo. So I know what I need to do. Now, while I was yakking, I should have mentioned I was using the light smoky slate to do some of the color on the seagull's wings. So the first bit I've done in a light shade, then I'm going to switch to the dark and I'm going to color in their feathers with the dark smoky slate. You know what I really love about these images is that you don't really need to shade them. I mean, you could practice your shading, but they're just little images and it doesn't have to be fancy. And I don't have to worry about blending two colors together. I can just color it. Oh, Gina, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I did, when I was seeing my doctor, when I had a doctor, that's a whole nother story. But anyway, spoiler alert, there is a doctor shortage in British Columbia, or at least on the island. I'm pretty sure it's everywhere. I could be wrong. So if you want to move here, it is beautiful, but be warned, you are going to be resigned to walk-in clinics and emergency room if you need some medical help. Anyway, so we did some tests and whatnot, and part of trying to figure out what was going on was going to physical therapy. And the exercises for vertigo, Gina, you might know exactly what I'm talking about. They're not hard to do, at least you wouldn't think they're hard to do, but they're actually hard to do. Like, they're not challenging physically, but they're challenging on your brain because you're just pushing, you're pushing your vertigo. Okay, so images are colored in, that is it, and then there is a little seagull stamp that I'm going to stamp as well. So I hope I'm not missing any comments. I get chatting. Oh, Tina, you can't give up chocolate. Me neither. Gina, you gave up chocolate? Ah. And Pam, no doctors in Nova Scotia? Really? Wow, there goes my retirement plan to move out east. All right, so adding some seagulls just up in the sky on these perennial postage dies to add a little bit more to what's happening, because why not? There's a lot of stamps in this set. So if I miss your comments, I will definitely go back and read them. I don't mean to miss comments. I want to catch everybody, but sometimes I miss them either if my computer is lagging or I'm talking too much. All right. Now, we are going to layer these down on the front of the card. And you could do them straight or angle them slightly, whatever you want to do. So on my sample card, they're slightly angled. I think this one I'm going to go for a straight look. Let's see how it goes. So I'll start with gluing one to the right side of the card, and then I'll glue the very left one down, and then the last one, I'll just stick it right in the middle. All right. Okay. Oh yeah, Gina, if we're talking about those exercises, yeah, they're hard. Anybody without vertigo could look at these exercises and think that's no big deal, but I don't know, vertigo is so hard on your brain, it's exhausting. All right, so anyway, as I keep complaining about vertigo, I'm also thinking about the Purdy's chocolates that are downstairs. I'm my own worst enemy. All right, now, third one, right in the middle. So I was thinking today, because I had, in the last couple days, I've had a few people reach out and they have found my page through referrals. And I don't want to give any shout outs right now just because I haven't asked permission to use anybody's names, but you know who you are. And I just want to say I appreciate referrals. That is just the sweetest thing. If you are referring me to a friend to check out my Facebook page and watch my videos, that is just so flattering, and I appreciate that. That is just really nice. So those of you who have given out referrals, told your friends where to find me, thank you. It's really kind of you. And for those of you trusting your friends to check me out, thank you too. So I hope you enjoy my tutorials. So now on this tiny little piece of white paper that's 1 3/4 long by 1/2 inch wide, I am stamping the sentiment, I love you more than. Now I'm going to try to get it in the middle without sticking my head in the camera view, so I might be a little bit off, but we'll see. I'll do my best. Oh yeah, not bad. Nailed it. Okay, so this will go over here, and then all my little letters that spell snacks are going to go on this side. So before I commit anything, I'm just going to line up those letters and make sure they're going to fit. They're just so finicky because they're so skinny. These are the only alphabet dies I have, and they are skinny. All right. Just going to move that over a smidge. So if you don't have adhesive sheets and you have these letters, then they're a bit of a pain in the butt to glue down on your card just because they're so skinny. So if you haven't tried adhesive sheets, I would totally recommend that you do. I think I have them. Yes, I do. So you just get a little pack of these. They are basically double-sided stickers. I cut them to fit my cardstock. You pull off one side of the backing, you put it on the back of your cardstock, and then you cut out whatever you want, and you have made yourself a little sticker. And then you just have to peel the other side of that adhesive sheet off, and voila, no gluing, just sticking. Super handy, actually. And there's foam adhesive sheets too, so you can make dimensional stickers. I have some of that. I'll have to demonstrate that in the next card I do, because that one's really fun, and it's one of those things that I don't use very often. It's not because it's not a great idea, it's because I'm a lazy crafter. Janine, I don't know if I'm saying that right. The first S could very well be upside down. It could very well be upside down. You're probably right. Anyway, it's too late. I committed. Anyways, okay. What am I doing? Oh no, I'm not even spelling this right. Oh, that pulled off really easy. I'll see if I can turn that S around. Oh, look at that. Yep. Okay. There. Do you think that's right? I don't know. Don't know. I like it the other way. I think it's this way. It doesn't really matter. All right, let's try not to spell snacks wrong. What a fail. Yeah, I know, Gina, it is a spelling error. Okay, okay. C. All right. Thank you for joining me tonight for the video of the world's okayest crafter. All right. Carrying on. I'm glad that pulled off so easily. All right. I have got 2 more letters. I can't mess this up now. Oh, yes, I can. All right. Here we go. Putting down the N. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I cut these letters out of the peach pie so they match the seagull's feet and beaks. I like having a little color coordination. All right, there we go. Snacks is on there. Now, I will pop up I love you more than, only if I can find my dimensionals in my craft chaos. I've got minis. Minis will do. All right. Okay. Yeah, I nailed it. Thank you. Thank you. It was almost a fail, but you know what? It wouldn't be very much fun if I was perfect. Spoiler alert, friends, I am not perfect. I am so far from perfect. Okay, there we go. There is the front of the card. I don't know about you guys, but I think it is so cute. It is just so cute. Now for the inside, I will stamp some, there's this little tiny stamp set with some, it looks like little pebbles and some shells. So I'm just going to stamp those in the crumb cake in the corner of the basic white and glue that to the inside, and that is it. That is our card for the night. So I think it is a lot of fun. I think this Friendly Seagull stamp set is going to be fairly popular. I can see this one. I can just see this one getting bought up once celebration starts. I think it's pretty fun. But there's lots of other fun stamp sets, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, thanks, Karen. Thank you, Janice. It was exciting. All right. It's going to be difficult to trust me as a creative coach if I can't even spell snacks right, especially when I tell you guys how much I love snacks. Okay, there we go. This is it. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Like I said, I really appreciate the referrals. Those of you know who I'm talking about. Is really kind of you. And if you missed it, I have posted the Utterly Adorable card class. It is a free card class online. So that has been posted. You can find it on my Facebook page or find it on YouTube. Sometimes it's easier to find my videos on YouTube. There's no clutter. I post a lot on Facebook. So if you're looking for a video and you can't find it, check YouTube. You probably find it a bit easier. So the Utterly Adorable class has been posted. I have got, I'll show you. This was the first card project and the second one. And then this was the third one, and it's a little easel fold card that pops up. So if you missed that, you can catch that on YouTube, or if you find it on my Facebook page, it's there. And the measurements are in the video descriptions of each YouTube video. I had to think about that for a second. So that happened. What's happening in January will be the cake celebrations. This will be my free online class. I'm going to do things a little bit differently. So I actually, look at how organized I am for January. I decided I needed to be a little bit more organized with social media. So beginning January 9th, I will go live on Thursday, January 9th, with the first card in the cake celebrations card class, and it will be free. So I'm going to go live every Thursday 7 p.m. and it will be, the first card will be beginner, then the following week will be a casual card, the third week will be for an avid crafter, so as fancy as I can get, and then the fourth one will either be a technique or a fun fold. So there's going to be 4 cards with cake celebration, free online class. I'm going to do them each Thursday starting in January, and I'm going to do that for a few months and see how it goes, because what I've done before is just kind of posted these classes whenever, usually at the end of the month, and I don't really have a schedule. So I'm going to try to change that and get a little bit more organized. So let me know how you feel about that for some of you who join my online classes, if you like the idea of that online class being spread out over the month on Thursday evenings. Now, of course, it'll be a live stream, but I will post them for replay on YouTube, and they'll always be on the Facebook page. I'm going to flip the camera around and talk to you guys this way. So yeah, let me know what you think about that, or if you like the old way of doing things. But what won't change is if you are my customer and you order from my online store, then you're going to get those kits mailed to you or dropped off, depending where you live. So that's not going to change. I'm still going to give you the card kits if you're my customer. And then I have an in-person class coming up January 19th. So if you're local to me, that just got posted today, and I'm accepting registrations for that. That is in East Souk at the Community Hall, January 19th at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And it's going to be all birthday cards. We're just going to get a handle on our birthday card stash for 2025. So that's coming. And another online class only, another collaboration with the Canadian Stamper. We will be collaborating to create a online only card class with the Delightful Wishes bundle that's coming out in January. It's beautiful. I don't have it. It's on the way, but I can't wait to show you. It's going to be beautiful. So that will be another collaboration, online only, so it'll be available for anybody worldwide. And yeah, that's it. So that's, oh, and tomorrow's the last day for the Magical Fun Fold card. I'm going to throw card class, the Magical Fun Fold class. Tomorrow is the last day. If you would like that class, it is again online only for anybody in the world. I'm going to post a link for that class in the comments, and tomorrow's the last day for that one. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. I really hope you like this card. Recreate it with whatever you have in your stash and show me what you make. If you are catching this video on YouTube, you're going to find the measurements for this card in the video description. If you're watching this on a replay on Facebook, then I will post the measurements photo in the comments as well. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and have a really great night.